Hello everyone, Ziausen this side. So today hand we are dealing with the neural control and coordination. Okay, so let's get started. So here, basically, the function of the organ or organ system in our body must be coordinated to maintain homeostasis. Okay, now what does this homeostasis means? So basically, homeostasis is the maintenance of equilibrium in the internal environment of the body. The maintenance of equilibrium in the internal environment of the body is called as homeostasis. Okay, deal with. So basically, the function of the organ system in our body must be coordinated to maintain homeostasis. All the organs should be coordinated with each other, which means they should be helping each other by means of complement system. So basically, the coordination is the process through which two or more organs, are interacting together and complementing the functions of one another. Okay, get this. Now, for example, the best example which I have here is the physical exercise. Whenever we are dealing with the physical exercise, the energy demand is increased. Okay, this is correct for sure. The energy demand is increased whenever we are dealing with the physical exercise for the maintenance of increased muscular activity. For the maintenance of increased muscular activity, which means we will be observing forceful respiration. We will be observing forceful respiration by means of increased respiration. So basically the supply of oxygen is also increased, correct? Okay. Then if the supply of oxygen is also increased, there will be the increased supply of the oxygen necessities increasing in the rate of respiration. That is what I will be calling as forceful inspiration specifically. And if the oxygen has inhaled in much quantity, ultimately it need to be flown through the blood. And if we are flowing that by means of blood, we have to increase the heartbeat as well. So increased heartbeat will be increasing the blood flow, correct? Increased heartbeat will be increasing the blood flow, which means it will be going through the via blood vessels. And one more thing, that the blood vessels will be dilated at this time. Blood vessels will be dilated at this time, which means the lumen of the blood vessels will be enhanced or enlarged. So whenever we will be stopping with the by means of physical exercise, when the physical exercise is stopped, the activities of nerves, lungs, heart and kidney, gradually return to their normal condition. Okay, yes, kidney does plays an important role by means of this as well, because kidney will slow down its process. So the largest amount of the nutrients will be reaching to the special effector organ, whatever the organ which is responsible for the exercise, or whatever we are exercising with that organ. The lungs and the heart are also playing an important role, that the lungs is responsible for the respiration or the inspiration of the oxygen specifically, whereas the heart is responsible for pumping the blood towards the effector organ. Okay, go through. Thus, the functions of the muscle, lungs, heart, blood vessels, kidney and other organs are coordinated. Okay, that is the reason why we are dealing with the coordination. So here they are coordinated while performing physical exercise in our body. The neural system and the endocrine system. The neural system and the endocrine system jointly coordinate and integrate all the activities of the organ so that they can function in the synchronized fashion. So I'll be writing a word called as neuroendocrinology. Neuroendocrinology. Okay. Hopefully, whenever you will be going for the major in zoology specifically or the animal physiology, you have to deal with this subject called as neuroendocrinology, in which we'll be dealing with the function of neural system and the endocrine system one way or the other all together. Okay, go through. So both of them are working in a synchronized fashion. So here the neural system provides an organized network of point to point connection for a quick coordination. Which means like this one is one case, this is the other case. So this will be the point to point connection. And the endocrine system is providing the chemical integration through hormones, the chemical messenger. Okay, again the neural system is providing an organized network of point to point connection for a quick coordination, whereas the endocrine system is providing chemical integration through the hormones. So basically in this chapter we will be learning about the neural system of human and we'll be dealing with the chemical endocrine system or the chemical control of the human in the next chapter. So here, the mechanism of neural coordination, like the transmission of nerve impulse conduction across the synapse, and the physiology of reflex action. Every action has a reaction, right? That is what we call as the reflex action, the response of an external stimulus. Here, what does the synapse means? So basically the connection of neuron to neuron is called as synapse, whereas the connection of neuron to muscle cell is called as neuromuscular junction. We have dealt with this word in the last lecture. Okay, go through. Now, the neural system of all animals is composed of highly specialized cells called as neurons. That is the reason, like, the basic functional and the fundamental unit of nervous system is called as neuron, which is responsible for the detection, reception and transmission of stimuli. Okay, which is detecting, receiving and transmitting different kinds of stimuli. Deal with the case. That is a function of neuron. So basically, the neural organization is very simple in lower invertebrates. For example, hydra. Here, the hydra is composed of a network of neurons only. Correct? Okay. And in case of the insects or the arthropod, what happens here? That the neural system is better organized in insects where you have a brain as well. Brain along with the number of ganglia, supporting cells and the neural tissue. Okay. So in case if we are comparing the hydra as well with the insects, hydra is only having the network of neurons, whereas the insects are having brain, ganglia and the neural tissues. Deal with the case that the vertebrates have a more developed neural system, and among all the vertebrates, here we'll be dealing with the topic called as human neural system. Okay, go through. Now let's get started. Here, the human neural system is divided into two parts. It is called as the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. So dealing with the first thing first. The first one is called as central nervous system. So here, what does this mean? So basically the central nervous system includes the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, the central nervous system includes the brain and the spinal cord, and it is the site of the information which is for the processing and control. Okay, it is the site of the information processing and control. So basically if I'll be drawing a brain here, this is a brain for me, and this will be the somehow like I'll be calling it as spinal cord. Okay, so if I'll be drawing something like there are some neurons which are coming out of the brain here somehow. Okay, and some neurons are here which are from the spinal cord. Okay, so deal with the case that whatever the nerves which are connected to the brain, they will be called as cranial nerves. Okay, they will be called as cranial nerves, and whatever the nerves which are connected with the spinal cord, they will be called as spinal nerves. Deal with the case. Okay, and in case of the human, we have 12 pairs of cranial nerves and 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Please do remember one case, that in case of the mammals, we have 12 pairs of cranial nerves and 31 pairs of spinal nerve. If you are preparing for a competitive exam, please do remember this case. One more extra thing, if you are dealing with the Pisces, do remember one case, that the Pisces have 10 pairs of cranial nerves, whereas 33 pairs of spinal nerves in case of the Pisces, and some amphibians as well. Okay, go through. Now here, the central nervous system is done with the brain and the spinal cord, whereas the peripheral nervous system or the PNS comprises of all the neurons, all the nerves of the body which are associated with the central nervous system. Okay, so other than the central nervous system, all the neurons are called as the part of the peripheral nervous system. Okay, deal with. So the nerve fibers of the PNS will be afferent fiber and efferent fiber. Okay, they'll be afferent fiber and efferent fiber. Here, the afferent nerve fiber are transmitting impulse from the tissue to organ, from tissue or organ to the central nervous system, whereas the efferent is transmitting the impulse from the central nervous system to the peripheral tissue or organ concerned one. So I can call them as the afferent fiber will be called as a sensory, where here like the efferent will be called as the motor. I can call them. Okay, from central nervous system to the organ will be efferent. Okay, deal with. And from organ to the central nervous system will be afferent. Okay, go through. Do remember, from organ to central nervous system it's afferent fiber, whereas from the central nervous system to the organ will called as efferent. So the organ to central nervous system will be called as the stimulus. Okay. Impulse, I'm sorry, from organ to the central nervous system will be called as impulse, whereas from the central nervous system to the organ will be called as the result or the direction. Okay, go through towards the effector organ. Now, the peripheral nervous system is divided into two divisions called as somatic neural system and autonomic neural system. Deal with. The first one is called as the somatic neural system, while the second one is called as the autonomic neural system. So, dealing with the first thing first, the somatic neural system, it relays the impulse from the central nervous system to skeletal muscles, which means if I am flexing my muscles, or rather I'm walking, running, whatever I'm doing, that is like that is a result of the somatic neural system. That is from the result of the somatic neural system impulses. Okay, it relays the impulses from the central nervous system to the skeletal muscle, while the autonomic nervous system, you can deal with the word called as automatic. What does this mean? So automatic means you do not need to run it. Okay. So the autonomic neural system transmits the impulse from the central nervous system to the involuntary organs. I'm underlining that. Involuntary organs, the organs which are not in your control. For example, the smooth muscle of the body. Okay. Deal with the visceral. I'll be dealing the smooth muscles of the body first. The autonomic nervous system is further classified into sympathetic neural system and the parasympathetic neural system. So dealing with them as well. The sympathetic neural system is called as triple F system. Okay, that is fight. Okay, fight. Then I'll be dealing the flight. The third one is called as fright. Okay, fight, flight, and the fright, or rather, I'll be going for that the sympathetic nervous system is working with under the influence of one of the hormone as well, that is called as adrenaline. Okay, it's called as adrenaline, or we can call it as epinephrine as well. Adrenaline or epinephrine. So here we are having a little amount of the chemical control as well. Whereas if you are dealing with the parasympathetic nervous system, that is responsible for the eating or the sleeping or something like that. Okay, and that is under the control of acetylcholine. Somewhat, but still, yes. The chemical control you can observe here in case of the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, and these two are the type of the autonomic nervous system. Okay, now dealing with the one of the extra type, that is called the visceral nervous system. Here it is a part of the peripheral nervous system that comprise the whole complex of the nerves, the fibers, the ganglia, and the plexus, the connections by which the impulse travels from the central nervous system to the viscera, and from the viscera to the central nervous system, or what we call as the vice versa. So deal with the case. There are 79 visceral organs. Hopefully you already know this. There are 79 visceral organs in our body. So it is a part of the peripheral nervous system that comprises the whole complex of the nerve, fibers, ganglia, and the plexus, by which the impulse is traveling from the central nervous system to the visceral organ. Okay, from the central nervous system to the visceral organ, or rather I'll be going for from the viscera to the central nervous system, or what we call as the vice versa. Done? Okay. So this was all about the introductory portion. Hopefully this lecture has been beneficial for you guys. Thank you. Thank you very much for your so much support. If you do have any kind of questions, you can ask me there in the comment sections as well.